The MPC 3000 was a new and improved version of the classic MPC 60. This sampler was Roger Lynn's last MPC under the Akai Professional brand and is currently the only MPC that sits in the Smithsonian Museum. This drum machine has been used by legendary producers such as Jay Dilla, Q-Tip, MF Doom, and Dr. Dre. The MPC 3000 is stated to have a sound that is crunchy and hot, not very digital, like some of the newer MPC models. The MPC 3000 includes 16-bit stereo, 44.1 kHz sampling with 2 to 32 megabytes of memory and full editing capability. In fact, its sampling specs are equivalent to most rack mount type samplers. When the MPC 3000 was released in 1993, it brought new life into the hip hop and electric scenes due to the new addition of the SCSI output. The SCSI output, which stands for Small Computer System Interface, allowed home producers to virtually have unlimited sampling storage in their machines. This made producers start to develop their own drum sounds and layer different drums instead of sampling a lot of drum breaks. Producers like Jay Dilla and Dr. Dre became famous for the sound of their drums coming out of the MPC 3000. The MPC 3000 also changed everything in the music industry by including its famous low-pass filter directly into the machine. This effect was famous in rack samplers like the Akai S950 and really dictated the sound of the late 80s, early 90s jazz rap era. Even later albums like A Tribe Called Quest, Beats, Rhymes, and Life had this low pass filter effect on it. After the MPC 3000 released, Roger Lynn left Akai after the company went out of business and its assets were purchased by Newmark. After the MPC 3000, Akai started making more lower priced drum machines to appeal to more price conscious consumers. A lot of the newer drum machines, like the MPC 2000, were stripped of the majority of the features that came standard with the MPC 3000, like 8 outputs, digital I/O, 4 multi-effects processors, expanded filters, 8 megabyte flash ROM board, and a SMPTE board. Today, the MPC 3000 is the main drum machine that famed producers like Dr. Dre, High Tech, and Havoc from Mobb Deep still use today. Jay Dilla's MPC 3000 is the only MPC that currently sits in the Smithsonian Museum and is for a good reason. This MPC took what made the MPC 60 and MPC 62 famous and built upon it to create the center stone of any production studio. If you're interested in getting the MPC 3000, you can click on the link below. Also, stay tuned in order to see how to use the MPC 3000. I hope you enjoy. Thanks. So this is the way you use the MPC 3000. This one that I have has a SCSI drive with the SD card in it, with a compact flash drive card, compact flash. This right here. So this one was updated, so it's a little easier for me to use. Shoot. Hope I ain't mess up nothing. I had to restart it because I took the SD card out while it was running. Got a little afraid there. So right now it's checking the SCSI. This one, it has a SCSI drive as well, but I'm using the compact flash. So now it's loaded. Hit this. So there's pretty much 10 different options right here. You got 1 sequence, you got 2 all sequences and songs, you got 3 a song, 4 a program, 5 all programs, 6 system parameters, 7 load, erase, rename, 8 load S300 disk, 8 copy, format other, and 0 select disk. So I'm gonna load because I want to load sounds. I have some songs and stuff in here already. So you have different, you have like, oh shit. You have different like APS. So I'm gonna just load. I'm gonna just load all. So as soon as you press load, it says 1, loads entire file or load a single sequence. Load a single sequence. You want to load the entire file. And it says, this will erase all sequences and songs currently in memory. Do it. I don't really have anything. Sometimes I usually load the APS too. The APS is pretty much all the programs and sounds. So that's what APS stands for, all programs and sounds. So you want to load that as well. It says it can't find some S&Ds. That's fine. Skip file. Skip. Damn, you can't load shit. Okay. Where's my headphones? So, in the MPC, the headphone jack is in the back. This one has 8 outs. The 8 outs is built into the MPC 3000, which is really amazing. There's a SCSI drive also that's built in, which makes it really amazing as well. So I'm wondering why nothing loaded. Let's see. Let's go 7. Try to load it again. It's not loading. It's a little weird. I wonder why I can't find any of these sounds. Let's see, I'm gonna try to load something else first. Yes. So now this one is loading. It says, I'm trying to get a little closer. It's load kick, load snares, loading everything. I guess that sound, I probably didn't have it loaded in, or maybe it's in another APS. Because what I usually do is I'll like use one APS and then make a whole bunch of different beats from that one APS. So sometimes it won't load. And sometimes if you save it as an APS without the sounds specifically, you have to save the sounds and the APS. So it's loaded it right now. Let's see, hold on. Try to get it a little closer so you can see. It's loading right now. Look. So it can't find a couple files. That's fine. Skip file. Skip file. So let me see if this sounds loaded in. Yeah, they loaded in. See, but now I loaded in the wrong APS. So the sound, it doesn't sound good with the sound that I have it playing. So I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna load in a different sequence. So two. Oh, shoot, no. Or to save. I'll press save. This save. So load. So I loaded up the first APS. So I also want to load up the first all. First one all. Right? Because when I load that in, load the entire file. When I load that in, it should play. Sometimes with the MPC2, you have to like change this. You have to go right by type drum, and where it says on and off, you gotta like move it, and then sometimes it syncs up, but it's not playing right now. Let's see, load. CPS. Wonder why it's not loading. Do it. Load it. See. Change the sequence. See if that changes anything. Nope. Alright. So let me try to load something that's a little bit from a different disk. So like this. So this is partition. This, like I told you, the compact flash drive is partition. So I have a lot of different quote unquote drives on it. So this is like disk drive B, I think. SCSI part B. This is like the easiest way. Like if you get yourself an MPC 3000, get one that's already partitioned, get one that's already with the SCSI drive. Having to deal with big floppy disk and stuff in the year 2023, it's terrible. You don't want to be doing that. I know you want to stay true to, you know what I'm saying, tradition and all that. That's cute and everything, but when you're really trying to get music done and trying to get beats done as fast as possible, this stuff is already taking a long ass time to load. If you was on the computer, all this stuff would be loaded. You would probably already be making a beat, you know? But to be fair, you're not going to get the same sound quality. Being that this is one of the last drum machines made by Roger Lynn, this MPC been used by a lot of great people. I'm talking about Dr. Dre who still use it. You're talking about people like Q-Tip. You're talking about people like MF Doom. You're talking about people like Madlib. I mean, this drum machine really does live up to the hype. It's an amazing drum machine. The 8-outs, the like track out beats and stuff like that, it's super easy. It ain't too hard. I'm just trying to let it load. The thing that took me the longest to learn on the MPC 2000 was, so I came from an MPC 4000, that's how I learned. I learned on that. That's by far one of the hardest MPCs. I did dabble in MPC 2000s, 2000 XLs, 2500s, but I never really got to use it for an extended amount of time. This was like, the MPC 4000 was like what I learned on. I made a lot of production on that. Okay, so something playing. This sounds like a beat, if that's what you want to call it. See? So at this point, when you have like a beat that's playing and stuff, full level, that's what you want to think is pad bank. You can change the pad bank like that. That's how you figure out what's on what pad bank. You make sure that this is on drum. The type is on drum. You make sure the type is on drum. Let me see. I'm gonna go to sequence 1. Yeah, you gotta play with this thing. Change the program from 0 to 1. sometimes it says you gotta look in the top right hand corner where it says record ready. When it says record ready, that means that usually everything is loaded. It takes a little playing with. Hold on, let me see if I can sync it up to one of my stereo. To plug it up, you want to plug in the XLR cable. Yes. Then you want to plug this into the balance. So it should be. Let's see. Should be good. Let's see. Damn, that's in my headphones. I think because I got the headphones maybe. It's not playing. Let me see. Oh, because I got it on record in because I'm retarded. Alright. So now I put it to stereo up. You hear that? Turn this shit down. I don't want to wake the neighbors. Right, so that's different pad. We got different pad banks. Got the sample on that one. I'll turn that one. None on that pad bank. Okay, so with the bass, right? So one thing that I like to do on the MPC 3000, hold on, make sure that is good. One thing I like to do on the MPC 3000, take this, right? And you could tune it. So when you hit 16 levels, right? Turn on. So you see that? Like it's playing. Sound like, you know what I'm saying? So in another way that you could do, like you can actually edit the sounds. So you hit programs and sounds. It's been a while. Edit sound, you press 6. You could like cut it in a specific way, but we don't want to do that. We want to work on the envelope, the velocity. So I want to like lower the attack or make the attack low so it don't have that pop sound. So I'm gonna just move the attack. See how it's like, okay, look, hear that pop? If I move the attack, it kind of like smooth in. You know what I'm saying? So. And then with this, right, if you go all the way to the right with the envelope, you got poly and you got cutoff and cutoff. So what you could do is you can make certain notes cut off certain notes. So say if you like playing a sample and you want one sound or like the next sound to cut that sound off, you see how it's like getting muddy? I can change this to mono. See, it don't sound muddy. But look, as soon as I change it back, it's like they're playing on top of each other. So poly makes one note play over the next note. So you could play, but if you got mono, there's only one note could play at one time. So for a bass note, that works for a bass note. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to have like a whole bunch of, because you don't want your sound to be muddy, right? So for that, that's why I want to change. I don't need it to cut off because I'm just going to be playing that. So that's good. So, you know, just make like a simple bass line. The best thing about the MPC is the tap tempo, you know. So right there, I've tapped in 90.6 BPM. So you want to press record, press play. Okay. Okay, that's playing. That's not what we want. Let's see. See, now I just changed the sequence, right? So I press play, nothing's there, but I have to set it up so it actually plays. So sometimes since the MPC is an older machine, you gotta, when you go to a new sequence, even though you know you got sounds loaded in, you want to go all the way to the right, scroll down, so you see a sequence, then you see loop to bar, then you go down where you see type drum on yes, and then you scroll down where it says PGM program. You just want to move it up and then move it back until you see it says record ready. When it says record ready, most of the time that means that all the notes is loaded in. Right, so I'm just play something. This isn't at my thing. You could also, this not at my BPM. You could also like put in the BPM using this. So I'm about BPM. Just scroll up to the right where it says BPM, and I'm gonna put it to 80, or I put it to 800. That don't help. Right, so you press record. Why is this playing here? I don't know. Alright, we gotta find a sequence that ain't doing nothing. See, I got like some whack ass beats on here, but it's cool. Yeah, not my best rodeo. See, so every time I go, so look, I just changed it to sequence 4. I press play start, it's not gonna start. You gotta go to program, move the program up to 2, then move it back up to 1 where you see it says record ready. That's not bad. So you go to sequence 5. This is another one. Let's see what's here. Same thing. Okay, so nothing's on this one. So now I can actually show you the beat. I don't know, I'm just okay. I'm glad that happened because it always happens to me. So there's 2 different ways to like tap in your beats, right? So as soon as you press record and play, it's just recording, right? But you want it to count, well, me personally, I want it to count in. So you scroll up right here where it says count in, and you press that till you see the red light come on, right? So now it's counting me in before I actually play, right? So it's 2, 3, 4, then it's. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I press play, now look, if I turn off count in, right? 4 and I go. Look. You see those first 4 bars? If I don't do count in, you gotta start playing as soon as you press this. Like that. You know what I'm saying? And I like to count in, so that's a great thing to do. You always want to count in. I don't know, this shit is gonna be terrible, but this is, you know. And it still sound punchy. So I'm not gonna start with the bass. I'm gonna start with the samples. Let's see if I turn that. So I pressed 16 levels, did that, turn it on. This is something like that. I don't know what I just did. I'm going too slow. Shit's terrible. That might make like a good little like parallel. You know what I'm saying? But see, with this one, I definitely want to cut this one off. So go back to programs and sounds. Go to envelope, velocity tune. Change this to poly, to mono. Now you see the difference, right? Now look, if I put it to poly with this one, you see it's still playing. You see it's still playing, right? But if you go mono, it's never getting to that, right? And you can also tune it too, so. You know what I'm saying? You can also tune it down. That's all in the envelope, velocity, and thing. That's probably gonna be your best friend, right? So now, you got a little, like a decent little layer, right? I want to change it. So the first track is going to be the pad layer, right? So the second track, you change it. You just go up to where it says TRK, and it has 1, you go to TRK 2. So see, sometimes, since it's on mono, right? I had to turn that off so I could actually play something. But see, look. You see that? When I play that, look. Because it cuts it off. It's mono. So you, even if you turn off the 16 levels and you still press it, it's still going to interfere with it, see? So what I can do, right, is I can add more like more stuff on there, right? Like more layers. Nah, it's just not money up. So look, with this, I could get something a little funky. I hear something a little funky in that one. So something like that. So I made a mistake, right? So I just recorded that. Problem is, and I'm glad this happened, because there's a point right here that says, so it's BPM, is loop, then right under is type. I didn't change the type from MIDI to program, to drum. So all that stuff that I just did, unless I was playing it through a keyboard with MIDI, it's not playing. It didn't even track. So look, I press play, nothing. You see that? So now let's see if it's gonna work now. Now you see it's recorded, right? So now I want to try to change the first track, because I like that little groove. Shit, we can just go bass and drum, you know what I'm saying? Make it real simple. Kick drums I have in here is not my favorite. It's what we're gonna have to work with though, you know what I'm saying? Just make it simple. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Hi-hats. I don't like the way that came in. I'm gonna just let it loop once. Oh, see, look, same mistake, right? It's on MIDI. It's not on drum. You don't want to be making some hot shit and then forget about that. Bro, this shit sounds terrible. I don't know why the hi-hat sound like that. So with this, right, hit timing correct. You can hit timing correct, right? Press the note that you want to timing correct, right? And then you could put it for how long you want it to timing correct, right? So it's 1/16th note. That's the groove that you want. It has an amount of swing you want, 60%. That's what I usually use. You got shifting timing earlier or later. I usually put it on later. I don't. It really does make a difference. So I'm gonna press move existing. Let's see how it sounds. I'm gonna show you a trick though. What you could do, you hold down time and correct and if you want those kind, right? So what I could do is I can hit time and correct, go down here, I could go to triplets. Let's see how it sounds with triplets, right? Or go time and correct, right? I could go 1/8 triplets, go to early, right? See how it sounds, right? Right? Time and correct. Then I could go to so that's 1/8 note, and that was 1/8 triplets, right? So I'm gonna try 1/8 note, see how it sounds. I'm gonna tell you, the thing that's making that sound off is the swing. So I'm gonna put the swing to like 50, which is like pretty much basic. Let's go. Still sounds like, not the best for me personally, but let me change this to 1/16 note. So it keeps, so I like to have my hi-hats a little bit off centered. Like I don't really like my shit on time like that. So if you want to play your stuff like real loose, Dilla-ish, Dilla used to use this by the way too. But if you want to have it real loose, you put your notes to 164 notes, right? And then you play. 164 notes pretty much anything. That sound the best so far. Still a little off because of the humanization, of course. I don't like the beginning, so just. All right, you know what I'm saying? Got a little groove going. Let's see what else I have in here. So what I want to do is I want to add like something over the top, something a little bit higher. So I want to add a higher note. So when you're doing the 16th level, they have something called center pad. They got something called center pad. You want to try to change the center pad to as low as possible in order to try to get the highest notes, right? So my center pad would be 1, right? Okay, the center pad can only go to 4. All right, let's say it's 4. Right, so that's the regular note now. All of these are high. You see that? Now look, if I go 16th, hold on, 16th level, right? This actually makes a really good thing, right? Now let's say if I put the center note to, right? If I put the center note to 12, right? I'm gonna put it to 12. Look, 4, 8, 12. That's the regular note. So that's high. All of these are lower. So if you want a lower note, you want to put the center pad to higher. And if you want a higher note, you put the center pad to lower. Hope that made sense. So I want a higher note. I just want to demonstrate that to you. So I'm going to just click 16th level. Right, so I'm going to put this to 4. Since that's the lowest. See if I could go. See, 1. Nah, that's the lowest. You can't go lower than 4. So, cause and that hi-hat is too high. I'm gonna turn it down, but I'm gonna show you that in a little while. See that, like that little, like that ping sound? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then if anything, you can always like tune it. Oh, my bad. So look what I just did, right? I just recorded over the I recorded over the hi-hats. So how the hell you undo this shit? I forgot. Let's see. So the one I used to use, I was able to undo. It's like an undo button, which is real thing, keep you in the form. Now I just gotta do the hi-hats again. You know, no, not too bad. It's always good practice on your hi-hats. And I got 2 hi-hats, so I got. You know what I'm saying? It's not perfect, but now I gotta change the track, which I forgot to do. You know, teaching, you know how that go. Change it to drums, everything playing. If you want to, you can add 808, like a little boom. That might make it a little muddy. But I really want to go for like the synth sound on the top. Right, turn on. I like that. I like that. So I got the count in. So the hi-hats is really throwing me off because it has kind of like the same quantization. So to turn the track on and off, you want to scroll all the way to soft key 1, and it's track on and off. That's like a soft key. So the bottom tell you what soft key corresponds to what action. So this is the mix solo. So I got the track off, but you see that's solo. This is the go from certain tracks, so I can move certain tracks. Right? So I want to turn it off in order to try to get this sound as perfect as possible. But I'm gonna go like 8th, right? So there's 2 ways to turn up and down volume in this, right? You could go to mixer, stereo out mixer, right? You press 1, you get there. Only thing is you gotta on this part. So, to continue on this track, the next thing I want to do is I want to try to turn down the hi-hats. So there's 2 ways to turn down the hi-hats. The first way you want to turn down the hi-hats is by, you scroll over to where it says type, kind of on the right side. It says type drum on yes, and then you go down where it says velocity. So You can adjust the volume by turning down the velocity. So the velocity now is at 100%. I'm gonna turn it to 80%. So look, turn it to 50%. Turn it to 30%. See what I'm saying? Turn it back to 100%. Right? So 50% is probably, no, that's a little low. Maybe like 55%. Right? Alright, so the other way you turn it down, go to mixer. Stereo out, mixer, individual. You want to go to individual. Scroll, so I think it's track 3. Alright, hold on. So, channel 6A. Let's go channel 1. Let's see, program the sounds. Alright, so you go to 1, don't move. Channel 1. Oh, my bad. Because I'm on track. Alright, so hold on. Yeah, okay. So you see. Yeah, I was making sure because I was bugging. So you want to go to the track. All right, so main screen, right? So track 3, track 1, track 2, and track 3. So you want to go to pad A, the corresponding pad for that sound, right? It's on 16 level, right? So that's thing, right? Stereo mix, yeah, stereo out mix. You want to go to stereo out mixer. And then you go to the corresponding sound. You go to stereo out mixer. You go to the corresponding pad sound, right? So that's A3 for this one, right? So when I turn out A3, that's turning off the kick drum. I turn up A3, that's turning up the kick drum. You could also, so if you hit the cursor, it's gonna go up. It's gonna point up, so you could pan it now. Well, you ain't gonna be able to hit a pan. Now you can't, cause I only have the left speaker thing, so now I got it back in the middle, right? See what I'm saying? So then you put it back down and you can change the level. So if you want to turn it down, you can turn it down that way. Let's see. So that's gonna be the snare. You can turn down the snare, you can turn up the snare. So the mix is very important when you want to start tracking out beats, because being that this came out in 94, this is about to be a 2004, this is about to be a 30-year-old drum machine. Is this 30? Yeah, a 30. This has been around for 30 years, which is crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So it doesn't have no way for you to actually save it unless you have like a compact flash drive. And the thing is with this is that it uses S&D files. S&D files, you can get away with doing that if you got specific files to convert the files into like WAV or MP3 or any of the regular sound files that we use today. But most of the time, you're not going to be able to do that. So the most important thing you want to do is learn about the mixer so you can track out your beat into something like Pro Tools, Logic, wherever you track your music out to, whatever recording program you use. But you definitely have to have something that can take individual outs, like up to 8 outs. So with these beats, most of the MPC 3000 beats, you definitely don't want it to be I mean, granted, like, you know, be creative, but if you're making beats on this, you really want to try to keep it limited to 8 tracks. I think in general with music, you want to keep your tracks to 8 tracks unless you're like bringing in, you know, horn sections and violin sections and like different sections, or you composing. Maybe that might be different, but for this is, you can sequence in this, but obviously this is cutting edge technology almost 30 years ago. So it can do the job, but it's not the best thing in this day and age to do the job. But it's very fun to use, especially when you want to work on music that's more hands-on. You just want to kind of disconnect from using a computer. Granted, this is still a computer, obviously, right? Like, still got this, you know, it's just like a specialized computer, but this is the closest thing akin to using an instrument for a hip-hop producer. You know what I'm saying? Or like using the drums, because I mean, this is really drumming, you know what I'm saying? Granted, sometimes like this is old, so some of the sensors might be a little, you see? It's not that sensitive, but you know, like you could just get to working on music, which is the best thing. Sometimes you just you don't want to have to focus on like, is this gonna be, you want to just work on something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like you could fill out the music. You're not looking at, like, if you produce in FL Studio, you produce in Ableton, or you produce in Logic. You don't want to be looking at, is it on beat? You know, you see the kick drum, is it on beat? You know what I'm saying? You can just feel it. Like, with this beat, I can't tell you what beat anything is on. But what I can tell you is, does it sound good or does it don't sound good? Can I get somebody to rap on it? Can I not get somebody to rap on it? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's really it. I'm trying to think anything else. Told you pad banks. Oh, the note variation. So, with note variation, you could tune it where you can have it like at a certain range. It's not going to go past that range, and then you can use the slider. Hold on. See that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could get, like, see, like, let's try it out. Remember, you go to a new one, go to change it, drum, making sure it says record ready. It's still not. Change the program. So I have the note variation on this note, right? But you can change it. So say I change it to this, right? You see? I change it to this. So say if I'm playing, like if I'm recording, right? You
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just play around with it. Like, come up with shit. Now, you see the after? That's it. Well, like, how you got it set to now. But if you have it like... You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you come up with, like, if you want to come up with something like that, you can use that, like the no variation, which is pretty dope. Like, say if you got like a really cool sample, no variation, right? Right, and then it keeps it, so it still have that, right? Yeah, obviously I'm not gonna be using that. Erase, obviously, you hit erase, do it, right? So everything is gone. Right? So for this, you want to go back. Programs and sounds. You want to go to tune. You see is that poly, so you can hear it cutting each other off. You don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could go crazy with this, man. And this is what I'm saying, like, when you talk about being creative, because you could just, it's not like you're not pressing no buttons. You're not looking at no screen. Well, you're looking at this screen, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I need it faster. So I want to change the timing correct. I don't want it to be loose like that, right? Wrong one. It need to be longer. Just go to like a dual. So we gotta change the track. Like, I don't really have the best samples in this shit right now, so I ain't gonna be making like no crazy, you know what I'm saying, no crazy shit, but you see, like, make sure you change the drum. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty much it, man. Hopefully you enjoyed this little tutorial. The MPC 3000, one of the greatest drum machines ever. It's really simple to use as soon as you get the grasp of it. I don't know how it is in relativity. I don't know how it is compared to the MPC 2000, 2000 XL, the 3000, well, the 3000, the 5000 or the 2500 or the 1000, but as a standalone unit, this is an amazing drum machine. It's really fun to use. It's so exciting, man. When I first got this, I was on this for days learning it. I didn't look up any tutorials, which I probably should have done, but I always been like take it out the box, just start playing with it, figure it out type of guy. I figured out the 4000 that way. The 4000, talking about complicated, you got key groups and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff that makes it a lot harder. But the thing is, when you learn the 4000, it's real intuitive as well. MPC 3000 is dope. I feel like the only thing this unit is missing really is just like a built-in hard drive and like a way to like export the music. You know what I'm saying? Because making beats in this and then trying to export it into like Pro Tools and stuff, man, unless you got like a really incredible beat where it's like, man, I don't want to, I want to definitely send this to some kind of rapper or something. If you don't have that, it's a lot of work, man. Unless you got the whole outboard gear set up, if you don't have that, it's a lot. That's the limit with these older machines, but they definitely do have a certain charm. It's like you can hear like the drums is clipping. Granted, I don't have the best drums in there right now, but like it's amazing when you get the sounds in there. The way that you get the sounds in there is really simple. I didn't go over it. Let me see. This, right? So, not save the disc. So, sample of some shit. Save the disc. Sound, no. It's mainstream. Programs and sounds, right? So you have programs and sounds, and then you go to sample a new sound, right? So they got different inputs. They got analog. They got the mono left, mono right. You just plug it into the back. Plug in your sample source. As long as you have like a 1/4 inch, you should be all right. And then pretty much you just play whatever you want. It has a certain kind of charm in it, man. It's incredible. It's dope. Love the MPC 3000. Hopefully that explained it. I know the most important part, like actually sampling the sounds, I went kind of short. But if you want a second part, just let me know. I'll definitely leave any comments in the comment section below. Hopefully you enjoyed. This has been Vince Sampler, and I'll catch you soon.